how do you know we're sweet? We still my heart, the moment died as on it. You always want what you can't have, and why?
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, Twitch chat, and welcome back to Let Us Play. I'm your host, Father Evan. It's good to be back with y'all today, and I hope everyone had a good weekend. Mine was cold. It was very cold in the city. I feel like I'm having flashbacks to the cold. Anyway. Nah, it was fine. We got a little snow last night. Nothing stuck, but, you know, it was cool to see. But congratulations to you, Mel. You have won the crown of Firstendom on this, the first of the day of this, the first day of the month that I'm streaming. Congratulations. You have won that crown. May you hold it well, but heavy the head that holds the crown. Also good to see you, Brayherd. Good to see you, Diamond Law. First to the third power. Let's see. 1 times 1 times 1 is 1. I don't like applying exponentials to 1. It's kind of boring. I amuse myself, which is good because someone has to. Before we go ahead get started on the game, I want to give a thank you and a shout out to a couple followers who followed over the weekend. Thank you to Dom DeWildman and Flyer Fire. Welcome to the channel. Hope you have a good time. So yeah, let's go ahead. Let's dive on into more Kingdom Hearts. Are you serious? At least the blue screen is simple and clean. I see what you did there. I just want to know. The audio is coming through. Look, I just work here. All right, last time we were in Pirates Land. We just got Miss Swan back, but we lost a Jack Sparrow along the way, so, you know. What if I want to go to that shipwreck-looking area out there? That looks entertaining. Fine, hide in the shade, you coward. Can wait you out.
Is it true? You gave Barbossa my name instead of yours. Why choose my name?
I don't know.
Because you're a nobody.
Elizabeth, where did you get that?
It's yours. From that day we found you, drifting at sea.
After all
Requires
this
you to
time,
know the movie.
I thought I lost it. It was a gift from my father. He sent it to me.
I'm sorry.
Why did you take it?
Because I was afraid that you were a pirate. That would have been awful.
Of course. Don't you see?
No.
It wasn't your blood they needed. It was my father's blood. My blood.
Blood doesn't work that way.
Blood. Of a pirate.
How the blazes did
does.
you get
Nope.
off that island, Jack?
When you sailed away in my ship and marooned me on that godforsaken spit of land with naught but a pistol and a single shot, you forgot one very important thing, mate. I'm Captain Jack Sparrow.
I won't be making that mistake again.
Then what say you to putting the past behind us, untying these ropes, and letting me negotiate the return of your medallion, eh? What say you to that?
Seeing as how the Black
Mystical
Pearl's
archetypes be
mine now,
darned.
Jack, letting you go doesn't seem to fall within my interest.
Odd. I'm not actually concerned with your interest. Give me back the pearl!
Arr.
Why does the bigger pirate
All right.
not simply eat
Lock
the
him in
smaller
the
pirate?
brig.
We're coming up on the interceptor. What do we do, Captain?
What do you think, you idiot?
Will, look!
What now? I wonder what Jack would do.
I'm not sure. I suppose he'd run for it.
Sounds good to me. Ah!
Bye, Will.
Will!
Everyone hit the deck!
We're just gonna have to fight.
Who was steering there? There was no one at the helm. It's really obnoxious that if you get hit, you drop the coin, but if they get hit, you have to wait until you completely unalive them to get the coin back. Excuse me? That's my cursed coin. I need to pay for the cursed bus to go to cursed school. Who am I kidding? Sora doesn't go to school. I remember getting really annoyed at the final boss of this world, only vulnerable to magic. I kept turning into Magicless Dark Sora. That can happen, yeah. Finally, thank you.
We beat the pirates.
Well, did you know, Lee?
Jack!
Now then, I'll be having back that medallion. Unless it's more important than their lives.
Barbosa! She goes free.
Go ahead, boy, shoot. We can't die.
You can't. But I can. My name is Will Turner. My father was Bootstrap Bill Turner. His blood runs in my veins.
Aye?
On my word, do as I say, or I'll pull this trigger and be lost at Davy Jones' locker.
Notice where he
Name
can't
your
actually point it at
terms.
himself, though.
Mr. Turner.
Because I think that would bump
Release
the
Elizabeth.
rating up.
And Sora. And Donald. And Goofy too.
Anything else?
Leave. Now.
Agreed. Leave we shall. But the Heartless stay.
Ew.
No fair!
Pirate. Good work, Barbosa. Who knew it'd be this easy? Barbosa, you coward. It's the last time I trust a pirate. Why would you even trust a pirate in the first place? The powder kegs are ready, Captain. And I bid ye farewell. What are we gonna do? We'll be blown to smithereens. Huh, why struggle, mate? A pirate knows when to surrender. No, they don't. You serious, Jack? Ah, you're average pirate anyway. First, we got to see to the gunpowder. I'm not about to lose this ship. I still don't plan to trust pirates again. Wise policy, lad. But you have heard of me. Indeed, we have, Mel, for you have claimed the first this day. Yeet. Wait, there's no timer. You were ready. Yes, you were. Well done.
All clear.
Donald's
That's
like,
the
got
second
it.
time I've
Better
had to watch that man
get
sail
ready.
away with my ship, but I'll be having her back soon enough.
Yeah, the aesthetic disconnect is... It works better in 3 when A, they have costumes, and B, Auntie William is the finest. Trust me, I'm no fool, Jack. And trust me instead. Sora, Donald, Goofy, bring Will back safely. There has to be a mod for that. There probably is, although this is on the PS4, so... And my PC version is... It's heavily modded due to randomizer. It doesn't really know how to work properly. Ooh, second chance. That's actually really good. That might be... Is second chance better than hyper healing? Probably not. But it's close. Come on. Get back in the moonlight. Guys, we know about this. We know the curves. We know when they're vulnerable.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Puzzle pieces. Oh yeah. No, get back to your moonlight.
Yeah. Yeah.
A pirate ambush where there's a splotch of moonlight. Never would have seen that coming.
Yeah.
Do you think these guys qualify as heartless? I mean, surely if they're all skeletons in the moonlight and that's their real form, they have no heart.
Now, let's be trying this again. The last of the Aztec treasure has been returned. And now, the blood will be repaid to free us from this curse forever. This time for sure.
Ahoy! Treasure, mateys!
Not possible.
Not probable. We were lads and we're pirates.
Captain Jack Sparrow.
Sora!
Daniel Duck!
Goofy, too. So you want to play pirate? Best save the play acting for the nursery. After them!
It's actually a good line.
No more play acting now.
Thank you, Sora.
Oh, where's Jack?
Jack! Get him!
Huh?
Jack!
You're a fool, Jack Sparrow.
How does he become a skeleton so quickly? Like, I thought the implication is that this is what they looked like after years of technically being dead.
Jack.
Show yourself, Pete! The tide has changed!
See? I told you you'd be needing old Pete.
Once again, Jack.
Ah, that's what we're looking for. I actually wish I had Goofy with me so I could turn into Valor 4 right now. Valor 4 misses such quick combos. Oh well. Dang, let's go. Got Barbosa in one cycle. He can respawn the Heartless that makes it all dark.
This ain't over.
Right. Care to surrender, Barbosa? Well, enough of this then. What say you we call it a draw?
Jack, how many times do I have to tell you?
Laugh while you can, Barbosa.
Hey, Roxy.
I feel cold.
Okay, ramen for Beard.
What now, Jack?
Whatever I want, now that the pearl is mine again.
That she is.
It's gonna need a little
Thank
repair
you,
work, especially on
Jack.
sales.
I didn't want you hitting me again, mate.
Hey, Jack. Good luck.
I remember to be good.
I'm off.
Will!
Good for them.
Uh-huh. Hey, Sora, how come your face is all red?
What? It is not red.
I know who you're thinking about.
Yep.
Swing, swoosh, swoosh, swoosh.
You know, for a minute there, I was afraid we were gonna lose Donald to the curse of the treasure.
Yup, me too.
It's not too late. They know you're greedy. All right. That is a very pointy front. I really love the guitar riff in this track. It's very 90s hair metal or speed metal. You have no memory of this bit. Well, this bit's really short. Because, like, you only do it in the first half of the game to unlock each world. And even though you revisit each world, you don't have to do this again. And unlike Kingdom Hearts 1, where you have to do, you have to go on the Gunny ship to go between worlds. This one, you don't in the same way. Ow, ow, ow. I know I've played through 1 through 3 and bits of the others. But it's just gone. Yeah, memory be like that. Yeah, we'll save the other section for when we finish Agrabah. We're almost to one of my favorite parts, multi-cat drifting. This is the best revisit world, in my opinion. I think they really gave Agrabah as a city much more character and made it feel much larger.
Agrabah, we made it!
Gosh, I wonder how Aladdin and Jasmine are doing.
Hey, maybe Riku's with them.
Yeah, I am the king.
Why? Why would they be here?
Come on, Donald, you were thinking the same thing.
No, I wasn't.
Uh-oh, it's a Iago.
Why
James?
did I be all wrong?
You're all right.
No, I mean it's not the old me. I turned over a new feather. I'm legit. No more scams. Promise.
That's
You wanna buy a
your
watch?
scam.
You gotta believe me.
So, let's go.
I was stuck inside that lamp with Jafar, remember? But I finally escaped. Then some things happened.
So, free as a bird, huh?
Have fun.
Gosh, fellers, he looks pretty sad.
I want to
Why does he have
to
teeth?
Aladdin and Jasmine. Could you guys maybe put in a good word for me?
Sure, we can do that, can't we?
Watch out!
Where are they all coming from?
Ah! 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 Hello! Woo! Woo! Ah!
It's a Rube Goldberg machine. What does it do?
This
Cause
way.
pain. Anyway, we'd have been goners if Yago had helped us. Ain't that right, fellas? I guess we owe you one. Perfect. But you'll have to win over Aladdin and Jasmine yourself. And your best behavior, got it? Yeah, I got it. Where is Aladdin anyway? I bet she's at the palace. Let's go. Why are we waiting here? Oh, sweet. That refilled my drive gauge. For no particular reason. Pick up an Aegis chain. Ooh, aerial finish is good. And what else did he get? Oh, auto wisdom. Meh. But I should have, yes, some AP boosts. Quite a few, actually. Slightly better at magic, but weaker and doesn't have the combo boost. Place that with the chain there. And we'll place that with the chain on Donald. It'll up his defense. Wait, how did I get 5k points? That's a great question. By watching? I'm gonna go with by watching. That or there's a prediction I don't remember. Gale likes to do random predictions, so that may have been it. Also good to see you, Windoella. Hope you're doing well. Just watch more than you remember. That's a mood and a half on Twitch. Picking up after a week, which is a bit meh. Sorry to hear that, but I hope this week's gonna be a bit better.
Yeah. Take this.
Hey, Pri! This is your all-time favorite game? It's an excellent choice. You ever played the randomized version, Pri? It's very entertaining. high school I started refill. You mean refilming?
Jasmine,
Sora, Donald, Goofy.
Made a life-size Keyblade and everything. Nice.
I never had the chance to thank you for before. You helped Aladdin defeat that awful Jafar and save Agrabah.
all in a day's work. But, it looks like the Heartless are up to no good again. Is there any way we can help you out?
I think we're all right for now.
And you always got Aladdin.
He
The
hasn't been
autocorrect.
himself lately.
That makes more sense.
Huh? Is it because of the Heartless?
I'm not sure. Usually, he's the same cheerful Aladdin. But sometimes, he just seems sad. He leaves the palace and goes off by himself all the time. I've asked him about it, but he says nothing's wrong. He's gone again today. What if he doesn't come back this time?
Hey, maybe he's got a secret girlfriend. I know. I'll go find out who she is.
Iago! Quick, Sora! Oh, catch him!
He's a terrible person.
And I'll warn the guards
yes.
and everyone in the palace.
That's the thing. Iago's not... Nice move.
Maybe it's something you said.
You think?
Gee, maybe we should go talk to Aladdin. He's gotta be somewhere in town, right?
Good idea. I wonder what he's been doing.
You have a VHS of an entire playthrough?
Stop!
That's some dedication. If you can find that, that would be amazing.
Hi, Sora! Come back here!
Yeah, it's interesting. I've never bought or made a
If you
Keyblade.
can't control that
I've come
fireball,
this close to
put
buying
a
one on
leash
a couple
him.
occasions,
Look,
but never
I'm
actually
sorry.
done it.
You should be ashamed of yourself, Abu.
And this is coming from someone who owns 3 lightsabers.
No
I have
hard
like
feelings?
no high ground to say I shouldn't buy one.
Abu? Hey guys, sorry about earlier. I was kinda in a hurry.
What
Why
happened?
are your eyes so...
You know Abu, he couldn't keep his paws off that lamp.
Like in that previous shot, they weren't
No talking your way out of
a
this one.
part of his model. They were just like a texture. They were like super artifacted. It's really unsettling. I guess you can't be that down in the dumps, huh? Who said I was? Princess Jasmine. She's worried because you're always in town. Got a new girlfriend? No way. Silly. Guess there was no fooling Jasmine, huh? See, Genie and Carpet took off to see the world. That's what Genie always wanted. So I wished him the best and all, but you miss him. Man, it must be really quiet with Genie gone. Yeah, that's why I come here. The action, the people. The what? The people? Where? There's always something going on. I mean, come on. I met you guys here today, right? The place is full of surprises. It would have no voiceover, though. Maybe I should find it, make it digital, and then voice it over today. I think just finding, like, the VHS level quality film of it is probably, you know, pretty good. And maybe you can watch it and be like, wow, maybe this, you know, maybe you'll be like, oh, I don't know. Maybe I thought I was really good at it the first time I played it, but now playing as an adult versus back then, I'm like, wow, it's worse than I thought. Aladdin is having a midlife crisis? Always. Aladdin is a midlife crisis. All right. He wants to apologize for all the trouble he caused. Oh, he does. Gosh, he's so sorry. He's shaken. That lamp! What about it? It was the lamp, you know, the one with Jafar in it. Come on, there's a million like it. Hey, I was locked up in there for months. There's no way I'd mistake it. We better go and talk to that peddler. Right behind you. Actually, in front of you, because Sora always takes the lead in the party. But anyway. I remember I was playing this once, and my dad walked in and saw me, and there's just so much going on the screen with all the particle effects and everything. He's like, how can you even tell what's going on? Is there any way we can buy that lamp from you? Of course, that is if you could afford it. No worries. Yeah, we can pay you in royal treasure. Donald? Might I be able to interest you in another fine lamp? No, that's the one we need. Ah, well, perhaps I can be persuaded. If you bring me a treasure beyond even my imagination. Something, say, fit for a sultan. My dad needs to Beat Saber expert. Smash Brother 8 player. Oh, dear. Treasure? That could be tricky. There's lots of the palace. It's not mine. I can't ask. I don't want to worry Jasmine or the Sultan. Hey, I know. What about the treasure in the Cave of Wonders? All right, Yago, you lead the way. And after we get the treasure, I might even believe your apology. Ah, you can count on me. My dad actually has played Beat Saber, I think. I don't think he's ever going to get to the point of being able to do an expert level, but...
This is it. This is it. Yeah. This is it. Yeah.
1v1 Father Evan's dad.
Take this.
I actually play a VR game night with my family every Thursday. It's quite nice. The joy of all of us being nerds and each of us having our own headset.
This is it. This is it. Yeah. It's over.
Yeah, the whole sound design is really nice. The composer, Yoko Shimomura, did a great job, and the sound effects team did a great job mixing it all in. Because every Keyblade has a different sound when it hits. The intro song, yep. Done by, Utada Hikaru, is that it? Skill Ring. Just gives you a bunch of, AP. What? Pete is here. Who could have seen that coming? Ah.
This is it!
No, I didn't want to do that. Wrong button. That's oops. Oh yeah, the Agrabah fight music is great. I think my favorite boss fight music, though, in the entire game is Another Promise. That hasn't happened for quite a while, though. It's definitely one of those subverted expectation moments where it's a major boss fight, and instead of something big and loud and bombastic, it's, you know, pretty slow and quiet, and gentle. Dang, doesn't get the emotions. Yeah, perfect. Ow, ow. Stop it. Gee, like the crystal? Panic, Abu! Panic! Soothe the wrath of the statue. Who designed this space? Why is it like this? Complete the task within the allotted time. Ah.
It's over.
Dang, Aladdin got the zoomies. I don't think I ever noticed that attack before. Would you like to do it again? No.
Okay.
Spectre of Trial, you possess great strength. Why not just put that on the door? Touch only the lamp. There is no lamp. Huh.
There. That one should do it.
How did we beat him here?
It's perfect.
He entered the cave before us.
Yes.
Sure looks valuable. Great. Now let's go get that lamp. We gotta keep Jafar bottled up, or he's gonna destroy Agrabah. Hey! Snap out of it, Donald!
Why does this always happen?
Why us?
Let's go! Thunder!
Ah. Although that reaction command is helping. Hey, we unlocked the Quick Run. Let's go. That's what I was hoping for. Excuse me. Excuse me. Can you stop? Just for a moment. Think. No, no. So you started again. I hate fighting multiples of these in such a cramped space because you go to swing to hit one and the others block your dodges.
Let's go.
Are we not taking the treasure with us?
Hello?
Stop your whining and hand it over.
Oh no, I'm trading it for treasure. This lamp is going to bring me riches.
Oh, no, you don't know. Get back here, you little...
Pete, quit bullying him. There we go. Quick run. What else I got? Summon boost, fire boost. Fire boost might mean something if we, you know, well, not fire, but summon boost might mean something if, you know, we actually summoned something. Yeah, now we have our dodge dash ability, which is so useful at times.
Yeah. Back off. It's over. It's over.
You know what? I'm not gonna bother with you two.
Yeah.
Two of you are gonna hang out in a corner like that. You can just stay there.
Back off.
Stay in the corner and think about what you've done. Or come out and face me. That works too.
Take this. Yeah.
Thank you.
It's mine!
Love the timpani as he runs.
Lamp hog,
Go away!
gotcha.
No fair!
I win. Huh? Oh,
Nice one, Iago.
Way to go!
Don't drop it!
Look! Behind ya!
nice try, Bird Brain. Just wait till Jafar's free. He's gonna make one beauty of a Heartless.
Did I see that Blake was playing piano? He played Dearly Beloved? No. Hey, Flame Twins! Clean my room? You can't see my pile of shame. It's right behind me.
Al, you princely little muffin, you. Cosmic travel can get so lonely without a friend.
My
To think I
roommate.
left
No.
you forlorn and genieless. Oh, the humanity!
Good to see you, Bree. Good to see you, Inky. Good to see you,
Gee,
Flame.
Al,
Thank you for the
have you been
raid.
putting on weight?
See you,
Oh,
Hal.
of course. What am I saying? You're living at the palace now.
Look at my room. My room is immaculate.
Jasmine. I can just picture it. Wait, tell me, am I being a pest? Just a big blue pest? Oh, who cares, Al? I'm just so glad to see you.
Genie.
I'll teach you to make a fool out of me.
Oh.
Yeah, he's perfectly capable of doing that on his own. Thank you very much.
Oh.
Time for Plan B. I'm finishing you mugs off right now.
I mean, Homer Simpson voicing the genie is a pretty good impression.
This is it. Let's go. Back off.
Get down here where I can smack you.
Back off.
Hey, Gail, thanks so much for the 26 month resub. Who's my preferred VA cover? Not Robin Williams. Or not Tom Hanks. Probably not Robin Williams.
Let's go.
Tom Hanks brothers. Yeah, that's true. But you asked which my preference was. No. T. Hanks. Smaller name. Is it Tom Hanks who does the big charity golf thing every year? There's like a charity golf tournament every year. And I think it's Tom Hanks and he shows up in ridiculous outfits.
You mess with me for the last time. I'm gonna
Yoko
get you
Shimomura loves
yet.
the piano. And I'm here for it.
Yeah! All right! Hey.
No, he collects vintage typewriters. Good for him. T. Hanks for the memories. I promise. You won't regret giving me another chance. Honest. Princess Jasmine. You sure you want that pigeon in the coop? Oh, I think Yago's shown that he means well. Aw, sure, you're probably right. And how much trouble can one noisy bird cause? You just might have a point there, kid. What happens next, Sora? Well, it was great seeing you all, but we still need to find Riku and the king. Guess we'll be moving on. I hope you find him. Me too. Hey, Britt. Hey, where's Aladdin? He ran off toward town looking for Abu. Man, he should be back by now. Okay, Miss Sora's big farewell party. I'll have him back in a jiffy. One noisy bird causing trouble. Donald is the strangest mage in strongest mage in Final Fantasy.
Catch him!
Well, he is a noisy bird. Zeta Flare. Disemvoweling.
He must have secretly stolen it from the Cave of Wonders.
Yeah, he hid it under his hat.
I guess some things are just hard to resist.
Why wouldn't I be surprised if Donald just like pulled out a jeweler's loop? No, Gale. Donald Duck is not stronger than Bahamut. Donald Duck is Bahamut.
Sora, what is it? I think it's time for us to go.
Will you be back?
We will. I promise.
Lamp charm. Lamp. Where's Junie? We found the lamp. Pluto is not a very bright dog. Just jumping into random portals.
Maybe waiting isn't good enough.
My thoughts exactly. If you have a dream, don't wait. Act. One of life's little rules. Got it memorized?
Who are you?
Axel. I happen to be an acquaintance of Sora's.
Imagine your evil plan taken down by
Why
Pluto.
don't we go
You just
see
quit.
him?
Yeah, valid.
Sora?
We've got something in common, Kairi. You and I both miss someone we care about. Hey, I feel like we're friends already.
Being real creepy there, Axel.
You're not acting very friendly.
Harry's not American, Gale.
Hey, what is this place?
But I have bang bang.
Huh?
You okay?
What?
You and that dog came flying out of a hole in the wall. You nearly gave us heart attacks.
spoilers for the next. No, spoilers to the end of. Well, the second half of your sentence is a spoiler for this game. The first half is spoiler for the next game. Oh, this series is so confusing.
Yep, I can see it. It's back again.
Help! The Sandlot! It's Cypher! Somebody please help us!
Sounds like we've got trouble.
I'm sure everything is fine. It's only Cypher. I like that the plaza has now randomly been populated by treasure chests and stickers. Leave Donald and Goofy to run after the trolley. Look, if they can't figure out how to get on top of it like I do, you know, that's on them. They wish they could do parkour like me. One more treasure chest, and then we'll go shopping, and then we'll go save Cypher. We got priorities. I mean, Sora doesn't even know who Cypher is, technically. Does anyone here have weapons? I don't think so, actually. Which is a shame. That's what I was kind of hoping for. Synthesis. Saving Cypher? I guess we have to progress plot. He was a jerk in the Matrix. was. And he was a jerk in Final Fantasy VIII, I think. I don't know. I've never played it. I keep thinking about it, and then I'm like,
We'll take it from here.
how are Goofy and Donald made? Pencils on paper. It's a surprisingly straightforward process. It starts with an idea. I mean, it all just started with one simple mouse. Ends with a Goofy movie. No, ends with a Goofy movie too. It didn't work. Try again. Get good, as the kids say. Cypher is tragic in Final Fantasy games. He's a movie nerd who wants to be a knight and do what is good and then manipulate his guardian the immortal is trying to that's all time into a single point. Huh. They made a second? Yeah! Max goes to college. It's hilarious. It's called an Extreme Goofy movie. Goofy joins him in college. I didn't like the first one, but the music was good. That's fair. I disagree with your opinion, but, you know, that's opinions for you. But the music is really good.
This is it.
You've beaten FF8 4 times. Does that make you Final Fantasy 32?
By the way, have you seen a man named Axel? I expect he's here somewhere.
Like I care.
You see, Axel's no longer acting in our best interest.
Is he with the organization too?
Yes.
You're having a fight?
Not a very organized organization.
Don't let your guard down. Axel will stop at nothing to turn you into a Heartless.
Gee, thanks for looking out for us, mister. But I'm sure we can take care of ourselves just fine.
Glad to hear it. Axel aside, it would break our hearts to hear something happen to you.
Hearts? You don't have any hearts.
True, we don't have
sure,
hearts.
rub it in.
But we remember what it was like. That's what makes us special.
What do you mean?
You've already been Norded.
We know very well how to injure a heart. Sora, you just keep on fighting those Heartless.
Let's jump in after him.
How come?
I'm not sure, but maybe he'll lead us to the organization's world.
Don't be reckless. Do you want to end up like Riku?
What? Hey!
What an exit.
Wait! What did he mean, end up like Riku?
Hey, how about you get out of my town now? You've caused enough trouble.
We just saved you.
Riku.
Have it your way. Come on, guys.
He said friend
Hold
name.
Make up your mind.
This goes to the strongest guy in Twilight Town.
Thanks, but we don't really need it.
aggressively gives trophy.
Oh, Sora!
Yes, you meet other Riku in this game.
Hence, right? Do you know a girl named Kairi? Kairi? I sure do! Then you better come to the station.
This is friend aggression. This is how I make friends. Run up and force the trophy into their hands. Wait. When did Sora learn to skateboard?
Hey!
He was a skater boy? I don't remember saying see you later.
So, how do you guys know Kairi?
We go to school with her.
Kairi was really
You're
here?
part of our school too, but you just never show up.
And she said she was looking for you.
Tell me where she is!
Well...
What a romantic story.
If you stick around, Sora's bound to show up.
Yeah, he said he's coming back.
Okay.
What took you so long, Kairi? Somehow, I just knew you'd be here. I tell you, Kairi, you've got a lot of guts jumping right into the darkness like that.
Hater. Oh no, her one weakness, being grabbed by the wrist.
Let go of me! Let go!
The fact that that happens repeatedly in this series, it really does seem to be her weakness, is depressing. Damsel distress. Yeah.
Kairi.
You think it might have been Axel?
Sorry.
Hey, it's not your fault. Come on, cheer up. Like I can even say that. I gotta help Kairi.
Oh. Goofy
That
lost
was
his marbles.
close.
It's not your fault you lost your girlfriend. You were literally on another planet. Everyone has an orb except Donald.
Sora?
Sora, are you okay?
Huh? What?
Whack. Look at how polygonal that orb is. It's like a D20. What, Mel? I'm sure everything's fine.
What just happened? A new road is open, and Kairi and Riku are waiting somewhere along it.
You'd better hurry then.
A trophy stuff
coming
this?
back?
Promise.
It's a trophy that Roxas won in the digital world, and so it's triggering memories in Sora/Roxas. Hey, let's go. Oathkeeper. And limit form.
I passed on the message as you so desired. I told the young Sora to keep defeating the Heartless.
Good.
Are Sora and Roxas one again? They
Not
are!
only have you the power to
Although they won't
inflict
say that way by the
pain,
end of the series.
you also have the power to plant seeds of doubt in one's receptive heart. Sora will soon begin to doubt himself. It will cause him to hesitate.
That's okay. I don't think you need
And
much
that
of a grasp on the
hesitation
lore.
will turn to anger. That anger will fuel him to get rid of his apprehension and move forward. He will pave the way for the future we desire.
There's something I've meant to ask.
About Axel, the poor fool. How long will he keep chasing the illusion of friendship when he himself lacks emotion? Trying so hard to retrieve what he has lost when it may never have existed in the first place. He deserves nothing more than our pity.
Rotda. After we got that, I do think Xemnas makes some great speeches.
King, Riku, and now I've lost Kairi again, too.
Don't be sad.
Donald's right, you know. Why, you're the key that connects everything.
So it's all my fault.
Gorge, I didn't mean that. Just do what comes natural to you, and we're sure to find them.
You said it.
Thanks, guys.
Oh no! Hollow Bastion! It's all covered in darkness!
Is it?
You're right, Chipper. I wonder what's going on. Sora! We better hurry and check it out right away!
I thought the battle of Thousand Heartless happened later, but anyway. Rotda. Through the intercession of St. Blaise, Bishop and Martyr, may God deliver you from every disease of the throat and from every other illness. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. The blessing today. Feast of St. Blaise. Honestly, we don't really know a ton about him. He was such an early bishop and martyr. He didn't really have a ton of writings. A lot gets attributed to him later. But, you know, through pious legend, he saved supposedly there's two different stories around him saving a child from choking to death. As where the blessing of the throats kind of comes from. But, you know, I think it's just kind of a cool thing that we have like a saint dedicated to the blessing of throats, as a reminder that God is with us to grant us healing and help us in all the ailments and difficulties of life. Be safe from all disease of the diseases of the throat, and also from all other diseases while we're at it. Yeah, I love it. It's all encompassing. He's actually one of the 14 holy helpers as well. One of the saints invoked to help with medical aid, particularly the plague.
No! Do you think...
Looks like there's more Heartless now.
And nobody's. Wacky Wiggly Wavy Boys.
Let's go check in with everyone.
I think they're at Merlin's.
So Oathkeeper is one less in strength, but better in magic and also extends duration of drive form, so I think I'm going to go with that one. We'll put Hero's Crest on Valor. Dodge roll. Also good. Although we have fast walk, which is kind of the equivalent. Yeah, let's do some weapon shopping, because I'm sure... How do you only have the basic weapon? Sup, Cloud? Make another mithril ring. Or an orichalcum ring. Let's do that. Give Donald one of those rings. So, and before we go and dive in, we are going to take a commercial break. So, take a moment to stand up, stretch your legs, get a drink of water, do what you need to do, rotate fluids, and we will be right back. Make your drink, stand up, and rotate your legs. Remember, folks, rotate your legs every 30,000 miles. Sup, Edge Boy McGee?
Oh, Cloud!
What you doing?
I'll get him. This time, we settle it.
Here in America,
Me
you'll
and
never
the
walk
one
30K
who
miles
embodies
fair.
all the darkness in me.
I thought you looked kinda different, Cloud.
If I do, it's his fault.
Whose?
Sephiroth. Tell me if you see him.
Okay, what's he look like?
Silver hair. Carries a long
You
sword.
fought him, Sora.
Sure. Well, be seeing you, Cloud.
Be careful. He messes with your head. Makes you think darkness is the only way.
Is something wrong?
It's nothing. I don't want you involved.
Troy's memory ain't so good. Fair enough.
You mean you don't want me there when you go away again?
I just...
Hey, Neko.
Listen. Even if I go far away, I'll come back.
Do you mean it?
Yeah.
See?
That was a committed
you don't
yeah.
look so sure. Well, okay. I understand. Go. Get things settled.
Huh?
No matter how far away you are, once you find your light, I'm sure it will lead you back here again. Right?
I suppose.
So I'll stay here. And I'll cheer for you. Okay, Cloud?
Okay.
The way they try to force the Cloud Aerith thing in makes no sense.
Wonder if he'll be okay.
He'll be fine. I'm sure there's some light in him somewhere.
You're right.
But yeah, Sora has not only canonically fought... I don't know if he canonically has beaten Sephiroth. I have. Never on camera, but I promise you, I did actually beat Sephiroth once. It was quite impressive. What kind of build am I going to use with Sora? Honestly, just like the give him everything build. Any stat booster he gets. I think strength is his best asset in 2. I think magic is a very viable build in 1. And magic is a viable build in 2 as well, but Smacky Stick just works so well in 2. Hey, fellas, you're just in time. Got some good news for you. So get yourselves over to Leon's. What kind of news? We found the computer Ansem was using. Oh boy! Yep. Should be able to get all kinds of info on the Heartless and the organization. And maybe something on the Dark Realm, too. Looks like that's where Riku and Kairi are. And the King! Yeah, go see for yourselves. Can't hurt. What do you mean? Nothing. Just get to the computer room through the castle imposter. Watch your step. Get dunked on, nerd. Walking around with a book. Only nerds read. That's why you can only see one bit of my books on screen. Yeah, for their lunch money. M-U-N-N-Y. Why is it spelled that way? Anyone who asks questions gets beat up for their lunch money. Now, Drive Boost I will happily equip. How are your classes going, Neko?
Excuse me, are you with the Restoration Committee?
I think I learned Tulang KH2 AB.
What's Leon's gang
Always
up to?
beat driving.
They've
yeah.
got stuff to do over by the castle postern.
Scoop!
Huh?
Let's report.
Sad for your
Our
partner's next.
leader, of course.
Yeah, you know.
Because Final Fantasy X-2 is a
Don't
thing,
mind
so let's
her.
fit these
I assure
characters
you.
in.
We come in peace.
You're kidding.
Problem? Okay, fine. You do the talking.
So sorry about this.
Look, we found Riku. Aw, we lost Riku. This unit has a gun. You do, in fact.
It's over. Take this.
Get what I need to do to level this one up. Oh, right, it's limit commands. I forget that. Well, never mind. I don't have any limits equipped, so.
Yeah. Back off. Back off. Take this.
Final Fantasy 2 plays so well. I could not get into it when I tried. It seemed like there was a lot of depth, and I appreciated that, but
Take this. It's over. Yeah.
the first chapter of David's vlog.
This is it.
Maybe one day I'll give it another chance. Just so many games, though. It's hard to add another to the backlog with any real meaning. I just finished one, though. I just finished Echoes of Wisdom last night.
Yeah.
Leon! Over here. Oh, that wasn't Leon. You guys found Ansem's computer? Uh-huh. The king is very interested in it. The king? He's with Leon. We can see the king! Hooray! Hey, King Aragorn. Is Riku with them? Well, at least I can ask the king about him. I might be able to tell us something. Kabir might be able to tell us something. Yeah, good idea. They're right through there. Why is it so ominous?
There.
I don't know how Stitch is canonically supposed to be, you know, whatever. That has some implications. Entire soundtrack. I mean, the entire soundtrack of the game, you know.
Back off! Yeah. Oh, yeah. Back off. Yeah.
This area's particularly nostalgic for you. It's a good place to be nostalgic for. I like the woodblock percussion.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Handsome.
Gorge. I guess this must
You
be
wore a
his
cravat
room.
in life?
Master King!
How dare he?
Hello?
Hey, you! I'm looking for somebody. Have any of you seen a guy with spiky hair?
One of the best self-aware
Spikier.
jokes.
I'll just take a look around. Sorry to bother you.
No bother, ma'am.
The wild Tifa escaped.
So you made it.
Leon!
Is there any reason why you didn't talk to whatever? It's ineffective. Isn't the king with you? Shh. You'll see him soon enough. Yay! Here, this ought to tide you over. I don't know how you guys or Tifa didn't hear that, but, you know, Hansen's computer room. Your room's through here. Computers are delicate. It's okay to test them. Don't goof around. I don't think Sora knows what a computer is. I don't think he's had that class in school yet.
This is it.
Learn on a Commodore 64.
Where's Kairi? Where's Riku?
Easy. You want to break it?
Oh, sorry. Guess I got a little carried away.
Wow!
Huh?
Attention current user. This is a warning. Further misuse of this terminal will result in immediate defensive action.
Who's there?
I am the Master Control Program. I oversee this system.
Where are you?
Donald!
I'm sorry.
Donald, just do a little jig while you're up there.
You are now under arrest.
Arrest?
I don't have a lawyer.
Run!
What up, Berkey? Anyway, Neko, I am playing on the PS4. Because if I try to play it on my computer, it's all full of rando mod, so. Space Paranoids. I love Tron. That movie is near and dear to my heart. Watched it a ton as a kid growing up. And so this level, as cheesy as it is and as bad as some of its level design is, always holds a special place in my heart.
Go on, show him who's boss.
Tron is an Isekai. But there's no truck.
Who are you?
I am Commander Sark.
A heartless commander?
Observe.
Okay, you're the boss. I get it. Man, what kind of world is this anyway?
You're inside a mainframe computer system.
A what system?
A computer system for processing data. This system is a copy of one created by a corporation called Encom. The original program was destroyed. But this copy was acquired by another user.
Does this mean that this Tron
The new
knows
user
about multiple
updated and customized the programs, renaming the system Hollow Bastion OS. He used the system for town maintenance and to advance his private research. My name is Tron. I'm a security program, but now I'm under arrest, same as you.
Womp womp.
Did you guys get any of that?
Gorge, you know, maybe we should just introduce ourselves.
I'm Sora.
And I'm Donald.
Nice to meet you, Tron. Well, I'm Goofy.
With that configuration, you must be users.
Users?
What did you call us?
You'd better get out of here quickly. Who knows what
You
the
forgot
MCP
about Tron
will
World?
do to you.
Probably blocked it from memory due to
MCP?
being painful.
The Master Control Program. It controls the whole system. If you idle here, you will be derezzed.
So, how do we get out of here?
Users, no, I'm sober.
This terminal could have gotten you back to the user world. But the MCP cut the power 50 microcycles ago.
50 microcycles,
If we
that's
could
like...
bring the energy core in the canyon
Yeah, I don't know
online,
how long that
we
is.
could power it back up. The problem is, we're stuck in this cell. We're not going anywhere
A
unless we
keyhole?
unlock the energy fields.
Orbs! We have more orbs! Yeah, rocking the Oathkeeper right now. Because form
Master
extender.
Control, why not just derez Tron?
I still haven't located the password to the data space.
What about a logic probe? With all
Movie
your
you've never
processing
watched.
power?
Out of the question. The current environment
I think it's
hampers the
a fine
processing
movie to watch if you
power
go
needed
in
for
kind of
such
knowing
an analysis.
the lack of support
You're
they had.
dismissed, Sark. Stop any remaining anomalies in the system, or else. End of line.
Acknowledged.
I mean, Tron is the movie that almost killed computer rendering, but that's because they were given a single computer. Remarkable. It seems you have some unique functions. I'll go with you to the canyon. You'll need someone who can interface with the energy core, right? If you say so. Thanks, Tron. Disney keeps trying so hard to make Tron a franchise. Yeah. They should really just reboot the one video game they had. That thing was pretty solid. Makes a pretty good coaster from what I hear. And orbs are easy, because they're not even orbs. They're just flat discs. What's the deal with Tron generally? It's all in a computer, and it's 80s. That's really all it is. Tech from the future, yep. Just the Matrix without HD graphics? A little bit.
This is
Although
the
instead of
energy
like
core.
everyone being in the computer, one guy gets sucked in. So good at this. Capturing the cube. So we call spaghetti code. Spaghetti. Now I just kind of want some spaghetti. Although that's not terribly new. I usually just want spaghetti anyway. I like spaghetti. Mission accomplished? Yes. Now, will you do something for me? We did not discuss this. You got it. Don't you want to hear what it is first? Yeah, you helped us. Now it's our turn. You guys really are users. Your actions are totally illogical. Let's hurry back to the pit cell. I mean, it's... Where's that again? It's the sector where we met. Right. I mean, I guess it's really their illogicalness that lets them ultimately defeat Xehanort, so you know. Dark Crystal, I love that movie. Speaking of 80s fever dreams.
So, what did you want us to do?
Find my user. He'll give you the password to access the DTD.
You bet!
So,
DTD is the name my user gave to the data space. Copies of all the original system programs are stored there, along with anything that's sensitive or restricted.
Is there stuff about the Heartless or Organization 13?
Most likely.
Tron has no idea. He's just saying yes.
A number of my functions were appropriated when I last took on the MCP. That's why I need the password. If I can get inside the DTD, I can access my original backup program and restore all my functions. Then I'll be able to put this system back the way it was before the MCP got control and changed everything. The way it was supposed to be. A free system for you, the users.
Gee, Tron, ain't the MCP one of those programs too? Do you know who it was who made it?
Actually, I don't know.
okay. We'll just have to find your user and ask him. What's his name?
You mean you don't know? My user is the user of this system. Ansem the Wise.
Dun dun dun.
Looks like the MCP's onto us. I'll keep this terminal up and running. You better exit the system now.
Sure, but Tron, Ansem is
evil and dead.
Okay, you're good to go. Hurry.
Guess who's back? Back again. We did it! Where have you been? Well, there's a world inside the computer where these programs live, and oddly not the craziest thing that Leon's heard today. So in other words, Ansom's research data is off limits unless you know the password. I think that's right. But you've already defeated Ansem. Gorsh, they will never find the password. That means this is all a wild goose chase. You're chasing what now? Well, a hidden room. Guess I'd better take another look around. Oh my goodness, Pete Tony! Thank you for the raid, Pete Tony. Welcome on in, Raiders. Hope y'all are doing well. Did I find my keys? Is this what you'd like? Maybe a little key jangle ASMR. That's what Twitch basically is. So, and we got Meat Mass to help us right there. Hey, thank you, Pete Tony, for the raid. Come on in, Raiders. Hope y'all are doing well. Just won't give up. We're playing Pete Tony's favorite game. I'm gonna screenshot and 3D print your keys. Oh! Joke's on you. Basically, everyone in the city already has them. Come on, we gotta look for that password. Right. We made a promise to Tron. Besides, how do you know those aren't my decoy keys?
Excuse me?
Tifa's buff. Why are you in this game? Why not? Tifa is trying the manual approach to password. She's brute forcing it.
What's this doodle?
Hello? Man? Security? Tron? Door?
Looks
Well,
like
she
a
can punch a
diagram
hole in
or
the space
something.
time.
Door?
In Final Fantasy VII, she just punched through to this. Which explains how the Final Fantasy characters got here.
DTD!
No,
What's
DTD
up?
stands for down to dance.
Look at this. This must be the data space. The DTD. See? The door to darkness.
What do you know? But that still leaves the password.
Say, fellas, did somebody mention the door to darkness?
Uh-huh, I sure did.
Your Majesty!
The enemy has spies everywhere. We found you, Your Majesty, and you found a
Long
shirt.
time no see.
Shh. The
The
organization might be listening. Who mentioned the door to darkness?
Oh, yes, sir. You see, we're looking for the secret password.
Password? Oh, I guess you mean like a code.
Mickey doesn't really use computers either.
Well, the door to darkness can only be opened by the 7 princesses. There's Snow White, Jasmine, and Belle.
Of course.
What are you trying to do?
With that password, we can get access to Ansem's research data.
So that means you might be able to find out where he is.
Stop joking around, Your Majesty. We already defeated Ansem. You know that.
Looks like I've got a lot of explaining to do.
Well, listening, Your Majesty.
Okay, but first I've got a question.
Hey, isn't Tron waiting for you guys?
Don't worry, I'm not going anywhere. If those Heartless attack, I'll stand and fight with everybody here.
Yeah, we will too.
Then let's talk more later.
That's a promise.
I'll see you when you get back.
Uh-huh, but if those nobodies come after us, I'm gone! Oh, and one more thing. Let me give your clothes some new powers, Sora.
Really?
You bet! You've done so much, just consider it a thank you present.
Thanks, Your Majesty. We're heading off to see Tron now, so wait here for us, okay?
I will, Sora. And remember, be careful.
Master Form, nice. I like to describe my Mickey voice as eerily accurate. Also, I know it's Peter's favorite, so I hope he's still lurking around to hear it. Gosh, I wonder where Tron is. Don't touch that. Huh? Goofy. I didn't do it. You have been sentenced to the games. Tron.
I didn't touch nothing.
Welcome to the Game Grid.
Game Grid?
That's right. You've been chosen to play a few games. Lose and you will be subject to immediate de-resolution. Win? Well... no one wins.
We're not gonna play your games.
You
So
have
it's
no
execution.
choice.
Well then, get on with it.
Where is the unusually and useless large door? I need to know.
Yeah.
I like the light cycle design. I think it's a cool one. Very reminiscent of the OG, but Donald is strong guy. He's hilarious. Donald is hilarious
right.
in general,
It looks
but
like we can escape
usually not
through there.
intentionally. Look, the exit's just right there. Oh. Wilpog! Come on in. Well, thank you for the raid. Triple raid today. Thank you, Wilpog. Hope you're doing well. Hope you had some good coffee. And we get an Invisalign priest on the racetrack here. No, I turned. I turned. Hey, Hope. Good to see you. Ah! You join us as we are doing the Tron level in Kingdom Hearts 2. Where the plot is mostly for show. Ah, Dingo's fake kidneys. That was poor timing. Seriously? It puts me all the way back here? I don't think I've ever failed that before. Thanks for the shout out for Wilpog. Not followed him already. Please do. He's a cool dude. She'll do he's a just chatting streamer. Drinks coffee. Just hangs out. Got great chill vibes. I like that on his channel he's got a counter of all the cups of coffee that he and chat had. No, that's okay. Don't shoot at me.
Tron!
You had quite a bit of coffee.
I don't understand. Why are you here?
We came to give you the password.
Why didn't you just transmit the data?
Transmit?
Hey, are you okay?
Tron faints just because of how dumb they are.
Right. Once we access the DTD.
Alright, now back to regular fighting.
Back off! Yeah. 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 This is it. Yeah. Yeah. This is it. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
These enemies bite. Get it? Bite. Word of the computer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Password. Okay, but there's a serious problem here because we know the names of the 7 princesses, but what order are we supposed to put them in? Alright, what's the password? Well, Belle, Snow White, Aurora, Alice, Jasmine, Cinderella, Kairi. Kairi, got it. Like, seriously, what order are they supposed to go in? Are there spaces? Are there capitals? I have many questions. They're not going to get answered. That did it. Now switching DTD over from hibernation to active mode. This process will take some time. Please enjoy a game while the process is running. Oh no. Not another game. No, it's the DTD's final security routine. This isn't a game. Stay focused. Why would the DTD summon Heartless? Right, Ansem. Why am I asking questions in the real one?
Right. Back off. Back off. Take this. Ha! Back off. It's over. Yeah.
No, I will not be de-rezzed. Not today. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Yeah. This is it. This is it. Yeah.
Well, I have lots of time. I just have that one last screen, so I'm... Oh, and I'm out of drive form, so never mind. Like, I can farm this a bit.
I'm as good as new. All my functions have been restored.
Oh boy!
And so have the MCPs. Why did you think this was a good idea?
Finally, I have full access to the DTD. My takeover of the system is now complete. I might have anticipated such a simple password.
It was 7
What's
names.
this? An emergency destruct program for the town. Let's see how it performs.
No!
Program, you changed the password.
There, that should buy us some time.
Tron, tell us what's going on.
The MCP's loading a hostile program into the I.O. tower.
Explain it to him like he's 3.
We've got to protect the user town. Let's head to the tower.
Tron learned a new ability. You want to tell me what that ability is? Maybe? No? Okay.
It's over. Take this.
This doesn't look like an arena at all. Oh, wait. I've never played a Dark Souls game, but I feel like that's what a Dark Souls player would say. Like seeing an open space like this. Being like, yep, that's going to be an arena for a boss.
This is it. Yeah. Yeah.
I say it in nearly every game. Valid. If I were a game designer, I would have multiples of those arenas, like scattered throughout, and some of them would just be empty. Maybe there's a reason I'm not a game developer and a priest instead. Must be total chaos outside. There's gonna be trouble inside too.
Okay.
Gaia belt.
Okay.
More dangerous programs are sure to follow. Like these guys. We should delete the enemy data to limit their movements. Okay. Thought we were supposed to go to the I.O. tower and stop it, but... Oh wait, there's the boss arena.
I'm disappointed in you, program. Why do you insist on allying with these selfish users?
They're trying to save a
Because
town from being
I
blown
want
up.
to help them.
That's pretty unselfish.
Something written into my code commands me to do what is right.
Really? And what command would that be?
Can you
I
program
can't
morality?
really say for sure.
Friends, they help each other.
I'm not sure
that's
you
all.
could.
Uh-oh, look out!
Because to program is to say that this is an automated response to certain input. And morality, in my opinion, requires a level of choice. program something that simulates morality or is based on morality, but I think you can properly speaking truly program morality. Really, the Vatican just put out a document this last week about AI, and I haven't gotten around to reading it yet, but I really should. It talks about that sort of thing, like whether how AI thinks or doesn't versus what that means.
This is it. Back off. Yeah. It's over.
Things can turn on a dime. My goodness. I do not remember this boss being this annoying.
This is it. Back off. Yeah. It's over. It's over. Back off. It's over.
Why do you even have a freeze command? You can't tell me Sora is hacking this thing. Sora doesn't even know how to use a computer in the first place.
This is it. Yeah. Take this. Back off. It's over. Heal.
Trying to throw a disco rave. Ow, 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 the rave hurts.
Back off.
I really owe you one. With all my functions up and running, I think I've got a chance of getting system control away from the MCP.
Won't
Now,
you just become the MCP
I'd better
then?
get to work. It's what my user would want.
What Ansem would want. Listen, Tron. We didn't get the password from Ansem. We just sort of found it, back in the user world, by accident. And one more thing, Ansem, he was our enemy. I mean, he still is, I guess.
Well, actually, he's my enemy, too.
What do you mean?
Ansem took Encom's original system and customized it for his own use.
Yeah, you take care,
I was
Neko.
part of
Good
the
to see ya.
original system, and Ansem modified me, too. So, that makes him my user. But Ansem is also the one who brought back the MCP. The Ansem I first knew wouldn't do that. I'm sorry I didn't tell you.
That's okay, but
It's almost like
now I
there's two
really don't
Ansems.
get it.
I don't understand it either. But I think users like you are going to be the ones who will finally figure it out. You have the ability to take illogical routes and still arrive at the answers you seek. Now go, before the MCP starts acting up again. Any data you need from the DTD can be accessed directly through my user's terminal. I'll keep a dedicated access channel open for you. I changed the password, so you won't have to worry about the MCP for a while.
Access channel?
I knew you'd ask. It's a very important link between our worlds. It's how we stay connected. You, my friends, are the new password.
Thanks, Tron. Take care.
You too, and give my best to the users.
Photon debugger. I don't think I've ever used that keyblade, to be honest.
Well, that's that.
Look.
Tron, hang in there.
So, where do we start?
I know. Let's access the DTD.
The King's checking the situation in town. He'll be back soon, so don't worry. Hey, look. It's asking for a password.
That's easy. It's...
Sora!
Donald!
Goofy!
That's... to the point.
Well?
What point?
That did it. We're in. I have to go into town. Need to see
That
what that
one window
last
says
shakeup
source
did.
without a U.
You're not gonna check out
Everything
the
else
data?
is spelled correctly.
It wasn't
Device,
exactly
archive,
easy to
code.
get.
Log.
I'm coming right back.
Source. Missing a U.
Hey,
I
Sora,
never noticed that before.
Why
That's
don't you
gonna
get started unloading the
bug
data
me.
and copying it down? It's just a few keystrokes. Easy, right?
I just... Hey, Alex. Doing well. Yourself? Except that apparently Kingdom Hearts doesn't know how to spell source with a U. I'm so upset over a misspelling.
Hey, these things take time, okay?
I mean, look at that.
Whoa, it's doing something.
I think it wants to know what we want to know.
Riku and Kairi.
But it's still spelled with a C.
No way. Even Ansem's computer doesn't know.
That's not how computers work.
What's he doing?
I thought I'd ask the computer if it can tell us about them nobodies.
Corsica.
What's this?
The data is corrupt.
How about the organization? There!
The data is corrupt.
Stupid computer.
Sora not smart yet.
Sora!
Who's this guy?
Well, I see you got things working.
Oh, Your Majesty.
Good going. The computer should tell us the things we need to know.
But it keeps on saying the data inside's all kerscuffled.
All we got is a picture of some guy we don't know.
Ansem the Wise.
That's not Ansem.
Come on, are you teasing us again?
Did you forget what Ansem looked like, Your Majesty?
Of course I do, and this is him. I'm positive.
Huh?
Excuse me, could you come this way, please?
Sora is so rude.
Look, this is Ansem. You know, the guy we all worked really hard to defeat.
Oh, that's right. I never finished explaining.
What?
Well, the man in the picture is definitely the one who tried to take over Kingdom Hearts. The one you fellas defeated. But what you actually fought was his Heartless. You see, he wasn't really Ansem. He just went around telling everybody that he was.
You mean... What?
Oh?
We went through all that trouble to defeat an imposter?
Actually, Billy
Yep,
saying.
a fake. But he still had to be stopped.
I can't believe it.
Oh, I'm kind of confused. If
Yeah,
he's
Mickey,
a
you
fake,
gave the worst
then what
explanation.
happened to the real Ansem?
Well, that's just what I'm trying to figure out. Ansem the Wise should know all about Organization 13's plans and what's been happening to the worlds. I'm pretty sure he'll give us some help. You know, I came close to finding him once.
Don't tell me there's more. I'm lost enough as it is.
Well, let's see. Some feller named Ansem, who wasn't really Ansem, became a Heartless. Does that mean a nobody got created when that happened too?
Yup. And that nobody is the leader of the organization.
What?
You couldn't have told us sooner?
I know I've met this fake Ansem before, and I've seen the leader of Organization 13 too. Kinda felt like being around the same fella.
So, where did you meet this guy?
Gosh, I can't remember. Ansem the Wise, the real Ansem, must know the imposter's true identity. That's why I've got to find him and ask him about it.
You started all of this. Because of you, Riku and Kairi. Oh, Your Majesty, do you know where Riku is?
Ooh.
He's...
It's
I'm sorry.
complicated.
I can't help.
Really, Your Majesty? Are you sure?
I'm sorry, Sora.
What
We
about
lost him.
Kairi? Organization 13 might have kidnapped her.
Oh no! Sora, Donald, Goofy. I was planning to go get help from Ansem the Wise, but now I know I forgot the most important thing. Helping others should always come before asking others for help. We're safe and sound and free to choose. So there's no reason we shouldn't choose to help our friends. Let's look for Riku and Kairi together.
Outside!
Sounds like we gotta start by helping out here.
To sum up some of the questions I saw in chat, Mickey was summarizing plot. that doesn't really make sense. He was doing a bad job at it too. And it'll make more sense when we complete the next game. Man, I love this series. There's a Saint Anselm. So not Ansem, but Anselm. Cool dude. Riku and Xehanort, Aunt Sora. Everyone is either hurt or fault. No. Okay, so we're gonna find out. I'm gonna share this now. We're gonna find out that the Ansem that we saw earlier, who helped out the dude in red, who's called Diz, is in fact Riku, who let his heart fall to darkness again, and is unwilling to, at this point, to ask for help. He ultimately gets that point of asking for help. Comes up later in the game, but you know, so Riku can't just be like, ah, yeah, if you see Ansem walking around, it's actually your best friend. Which Ansem we saw earlier? Shut up.
Hear me, my Heartless. Attack the white husks. Sweep them away.
What are you, nuts? We're never gonna win. I don't know
How about this?
you,
After
but I'm
I
outta
finish
here,
3,
sister.
I will draw a
You pathetic
flowchart
coward.
of the series. I promise to do that. Someone remind me in like a year when we get around to beating 3.
Heartless, leave the white ones.
Deal.
Turn your attention to Sora and his friends. Uh-oh!
Flowchart would be nice. Yeah. It's a shame that a flowchart is basically necessary. Everyone's Norded. You get Norded. You get Norded. Yeah, we don't even know what Nording is, though, yet, technically. Nope, nope. If Aqua doesn't get Norded, why are her eyes yellow? Because darkness. There is one BDG went off on the deep end to do it. There is that flowchart. I stopped and think what BDG was. Brian David Gilbert. Yes, his episode on the Kingdom Hearts plot is pretty funny.
It's over.
But yeah, one day I will do my best pirate software impression. I'll use MS Paint and everything.
Where's Maleficent?
Looks like she ran away.
Well, that was pretty lame of her.
I guess we picked the wrong side.
It's okay, Sora forgives you. You can now join the good side.
So I figured she'd be okay to tag along with her because she seemed that way. Treasureless wings or something. I thought this was
Hey, if you're looking to pick sides, why don't you pick Leon's? They can always use help.
Does this Leon have any treasure?
Yeah, lots of stuff. Perfect.
Come on.
Who are you?
Oh, we're nothing worth mentioning.
Just 3 treasure fanatics.
Later,
Does-
taters.
Yuna have heterochromia in the original? I just noticed that.
Did Leon really have any treasure?
Does Leon remember Titus? No, Titus is still a child on Destiny Islands. Yes, she does? Okay, I mean, I played Final Fantasy X originally on the PS2 on a
We
tiny
don't have time for
CRT.
you.
So, you know. easy to miss that kind of detail.
Whoa!
Sephiroth!
And Sephiroth! Ain't Sephiroth the one who's supposed to be the dark part of Cloud's heart?
Did Cloud tell you that? Then he must understand now.
Just what are you gonna do to him?
Nothing. Cloud is the one who hungers for darkness.
He said he's got a score to settle with you.
I see. He wants to meet
Sephiroth
me
isn't
again.
in the realm of darkness.
Then I should give him what he wants. That last bit of light is always the hardest to snuff out.
They're gonna have an edgelord contest. Huh? They came from that hole over there. I don't remember that being there before. I wonder where it leads. We don't have time for that. We have to go after the king. It's a bonus dungeon. It's actually really fun. Cave of Remembrance.
We'll help.
Sora, behind you!
So it turns out I can't play Final Fantasy VII Rebirth because I don't have a ray tracing enabled card. I got necessarily upset about that. Still upset because the CPU market is ported right now.
This is it.
Honestly, when I bought my GPU, it was at MSRP. Because I just bought it from an electronics store. It's never been a worse time to be a PC gamer. I thought it got slightly better. Like, I thought it's still bad, but I thought it was worse when all the mining was still happening. I have new RAM showing up because when I built this computer and the accident occurred, one of the two RAM sticks got fried. And technically, the RAM I have now is stored by the second motherboard. MSRP is ridiculous. That's valid. But it's not like when everything was being sold by scalpers on the secondhand market. Actually, scalpers get the money, but the market will bear the cost. We'll get the money, yeah.
It's over.
The king's in the Bailey. You better head over there.
Got it.
Mid-tier, yeah. Check out Micro Center. Micro Center's a very reputable store, or B&H. B&H also ships. And is also very reputable and does not price gouge. Oh, you have? Oh, okay. Not everyone's heard of those stores. I know a lot of folks have heard of B&H, but not to say everyone's heard of Micro Center.
Whoa.
Unless they have one near them. I like going there for Arduino stuff. They have a nice section at the one in Brooklyn. They don't have the garden stock that you're looking for. Yeah. Make a trip just to go to the Micro Center. Nice. I'll make a trip to Brooklyn just for Micro Center. Otherwise, I don't really go to Brooklyn. Maybe you'll check it out
Think
while
you
you're
can handle this,
There you
Manny?
go.
Well,
It's right on the
might be
waterfront.
tough if one more shows up.
Then that'll have to be the
Did I see
one
what they were doing to catch scalper bots? No, do tell.
What? You're fighting too?
Who's edgier? My sword has a gun in it. Mine is wrapped in band-aids.
Sephiroth!
Sephiroth!
I understand that you've been looking for me.
Yeah. Once I get rid of you, the darkness will go away.
Can you do it? That darkness comes from your own dark memories. Do you think you can erase your past?
Shut up!
Face it. You turn your back on the present and live in the past. Because the light of the present is too much.
You don't know me!
Sephiroth psychoanalyzing his opponent.
I know.
Like, not even like trying to fight him. Just be
Because
like, yeah, you got a problem, dude. You need
I
to take
am
care of
you.
it.
Cloud! Wait! Huh?
Just a picture. That's great. Sounds like Smith from The Matrix a little bit. He was voiced by Lance Bass in the first one,
Leon, everybody, hang in there.
which is just like the weirdest little detail.
Okay, fellas, you've got to go find Riku and Kairi.
But Leon and the others are friends too.
Don't worry, there's already lots of help here. We'll take care of this fight.
But I promised Leon.
Donald, Goofy, take Sora and get going.
Riku, Kairi, give me a little time, okay?
Your Majesty!
We understand. We'll go search for Riku and Kairi.
Right. Watch for danger.
You be careful too!
Wait, you guys.
Sora, do as you're told.
You're coming with us whether you want to or not.
Come on, Sora. You gotta be good.
Gotcha.
Well then, skedaddle.
Let's go.
Whoa!
You knew that was going to happen, Mickey.
I'm sorry, Your Majesty.
Hope you can forgive us.
Another. Another what? Check one out while you're in SCV. SCV? What's SCV? Santa Clara Valley? That's all I can think of. I don't think that's a place. Nailed it. Dun dun dun. Secret room. This is a cutscene added in the final mix version. That makes no sense if you haven't played the rest of the series. You presume that the rest of the cutscenes make sense. Fair. I expect the rest of the cutscenes to stand more or less on their own, though. This one, objectively... Fair Kingdom Hearts to have
Master
fits that
Ansem,
don't make sense.
regarding the experiment I presented the other day, with your permission, I'd like to proceed.
I forbid it! Forget this talk of doors and the heart of all worlds. That place must not be defiled.
But Master Ansem, I've been thinking...
They are not. Those thoughts are best forgotten.
It has been far too long, friend.
Broken pile of armor.
Zexion! Zexion!
Most chuggy of this game to have a
Right
movie in the
here.
middle of it.
What is it?
Where is Lord Zemnis?
His usual spot?
The Chamber of Repose?
Yes. Go and see for yourself.
That isn't funny! I suppose I have no
Me who've
choice
seen
but
the
to
rest too,
wait.
what?
But the
Yeah,
clock
okay.
is ticking. Time is running out. What to do? Why is he never around when I need him?
It's Aqua's
It's almost
Arbor.
as if he knows I'm looking for him.
You know, I don't like that place either. What about you, Zexion?
Which actually makes
What
no
do you
sense as
think?
why he even has it.
I think eavesdropping is intrusive. Why are you even here? You and Zaldin were tasked to recruit new members. Have you forgotten, or were you procrastinating?
As if. I'm doing my job. I'll have you know, I found one just yesterday.
Makes perfect
Mar
sense. A nickel.
something. That puts the organization's count at 11. And since I've been working so hard, I had Lexius take my place for the day. I want to rest up for tomorrow, so I can wake up feeling nice and refreshed.
Is that so? Well then, I will leave you to it. I have work to catch up on. Good day.
Oh, don't be like that. Come on, stay and talk. Isn't it time you told me about Xemnas' secret? How long ago was it? When a bunch of warriors wielding key-shaped swords appeared and unleashed a spectacular battle. And when it was all over, all that was left was a man lying unconscious without his memories. Xemnas, Xehanort, was found by Ansem right around then, wasn't he?
Your point?
The Chamber of Repose. If you recall, that's where we spent our time researching the darkness that resides within people's hearts. It's a graveyard that was sealed by order of Ansem the Wise. The first thing Xemnas did once he got rid of him was to undo the seal and build a room in the back. Ever since then, he holds himself up in that room when he can and he talks to someone. But who? For all I know, he's the only one in that room.
Need I repeat myself about eavesdropping?
Not eavesdropping. Couldn't hear what they were saying. Dying to find out what it was, though. You wouldn't know anything about it, would you?
I know I would very much like to focus on my own duties. As you should with yours. For we need to prepare the new facility immediately. But there are only 11 of us in the organization. We're going to need a few more hands on deck.
What new facility? Oh, you mean Castle Oblivion. What does Xemnas plan on doing with that place, anyway?
Destroying Sora's memories, from what we've seen.
He already shared his intentions with us.
But did you know there's something he didn't share? The Chamber of Repose is part of a pair. The Chamber of Waking is the other. Another graveyard, if you want to call it that. It was constructed by someone other than Xemnas himself. And that's where he'll find it. That's where he'll find his other friend.
Sigbar, you know too much. Also, thank you for being the master of exposition tonight. Oh, I'm gonna have to dance water dance before I can sign off?
Yeah.
I'm supposed to be wrapping up right now.
Hey, you guys are looking lively.
Didn't we catch you messing around in the underworld? How'd a wimp like you get into Organization 13? I bet you can't even fight.
Yeah, but we can.
You shouldn't judge anyone by appearance.
Watch me.
Oh, I told them they were sending the wrong guy. Who is this kook?
Remember, the organization's made up of nobodies.
Right. No hearts.
Oh, we do too have hearts. Don't be mad.
You can't trick us.
He's not lying, technically, but we don't discover that until 3.
Silence, traitor.
Okay, welcome to the organization. What's your weapon? Sitar. No, that's an instrument. I said, what's your weapon? Sitar!
Back off. This is it. It's over. Take this. It's over. It's over. It's over. This is it. Yeah. Back off. Back off. Like it.
No, I do not like it. So this organization is the main baddies in this one, yes. But also no. I mean, no, they are the main baddies, still. It's just that there's also another badder baddie underneath the hood. Simba's a good one, yes. But Simba's not a summon in this one. You actually team up with Simba. Go to Simba land. Oh no, oh no, oh no. Oh, dang it! Oh! Got so close there. Like literally, one more second and I'd have been able to heal. That is frustrating, not gonna lie. That fight was going exceptionally well. But it's time for me to sign off, so I don't think it was safe for me. This way. All right, that's where we're calling. So thank you so much for tuning in to Let Us Play. I've been your host, Father Evan. It's been good to be with y'all today, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you to everyone who's liked, followed, subscribed, given bits, all that good jazz. Thank you to Flame, P. Tony, and Will for the raids. Go check out their channels if you haven't already. Join us again tomorrow as we continue our exploration in Season, A Letter to the Future. Wednesday, Midweek Minecraft, and then Thursday we will be playing The Manhole. So that'll be fun. And then next week we will pick up where we left off with Kingdom Hearts. So that should be fun. And we're very close to 400. When we get to 400, got a bonus stream idea. Should be a fun time. And yeah, so I think that's it. So thank you to everyone who's checked out the YouTube and the Discord. And why don't we see who's live that we can raid into? We're gonna raid Flame because he raided me. We're going full circle. Raid call is gonna be Get Norded. I put that in the chat for you to copy and paste if you want. So yeah, so go give him some love. He's just getting started. Looks like he and Hal are going to be playing some Rogue Trader. So enjoy that. So yeah, hope you have a great rest of your day. Take care, and God bless.